All right, I have a story here that is not going to get much coverage from mainstream media. I mean, and any coverage that it does get, it's all going to be in favor of it. Because unfortunately, the issue we're about to talk about is uniparty between both parties, Democrats and Republicans, and the left and right-wing media of this country. And that is that the Pentagon has announced an $8.6 billion Boeing contract specifically for F-15 jets for Israel. Now, Israel, if you don't know what Israel is, Israel happens to be that little country, little known, poor little Israel, that little known country in the Middle East that is currently committing a genocide and an ethnic cleansing in Gaza. Now, granted, there is a fake ceasefire going on right now that has only slowed what they're doing. We're still hearing of Palestinians being killed every single week while this supposed ceasefire is in place. But so not only are they committing a clear genocide, we happen to be funding it, and we are the largest funder of that genocide. In fact, many would argue that they wouldn't be able to carry out their genocide without our being the United States' support. Now, granted, plenty of European countries are also giving aid to Israel, but we are by far the largest, and it just doesn't stop. And of course, there's no pushback in the mainstream media. Luckily, in the independent space, like the online space, you at least have people from the left and right being like, "Hey, this is a genocide." Now, some came to that conclusion a bit too late, but better late than never. And unfortunately, a lot of figures on the right, they came to this conclusion not because they necessarily care about Palestinian lives. They just kind of hate Jewish people, and they're actually anti-Semitic. So that sucks. But yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. It's just, this topic is super frustrating. Anyways, I have an article here from Reuters. Pentagon announces $8.6 billion Boeing contract for F-15 jets for Israel, as if Israel didn't have enough fucking child bombing jets at their disposal. Boeing was given a $8.6 billion contract for the F-15 Israel program, the Pentagon said on Monday after U.S. President Donald Trump met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Florida. And yeah, they are still as chummy as ever. We are still bending the knee in every single way to Bibi Netanyahu. And, you know, as clear from this article, we are still funding them in, you know, full capacity to commit atrocities in Gaza with our money. Like, I'm tired of people saying like, oh yeah, I'm tired of like this waste and fraud and abuse that we have going on within our welfare system, which is actually non-existent if you actually look at real independent studies. But anyways, and then there's nothing when it comes to shit like this. And like, why is my money being spent on this? Like, everyone has a big deal if your money happens to go to some fucking, supposedly go to some undocumented immigrants or some shit like that so they can get health care. But like, and there's, everyone fucking makes a big stink about it. But when it comes to this shit, no, there's nothing. There's hardly, just, it's just so annoying. Anyways, the Pentagon said the contract involved foreign military sales to Israel. The U.S. has long been, by far, the largest arms supplier to its closest Middle East ally. Pro-Palestinian and anti-war protesters around the U.S. had demanded an end to Washington's military support for Israel due to its devastating assault in Gaza. Reuters, to this day, can't just come out and openly say what it is, and that is a genocide in Gaza. It's still just an assault on Gaza. Just an assault. You know, like, what is it? Between 80 to 90% civilian casualty rate? Like, what are we doing? Hundreds of thousands of civilians dead. Like, come on now. Come on. All right. But those demands have not been met in the administrations of President Donald Trump and former President Joe Biden. Contract work will be performed in St. Louis and was expected to be complete by December 31st, 2035, the Pentagon said in a statement. All right, and before anyone turns around with the argument of like, yeah, but like you see, it's kind of an argument that people give when we talk about giving weapons and money to Ukraine. It's like, no, we're not technically not just giving them cash. It's actually old equipment, which leads to us producing new equipment, which leads to job growth. Is people will use that same defense here, especially when they see that the contract work's going to be performed in St. Louis. They're going to be like, oh, well, this is creating jobs. It's like, okay, I'm sorry, but like, I don't, call me anti-job or anti-labor, but whatever. But I don't really fancy the new jobs being created that are effectively logistical support for a foreign nation's genocide. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not for that. I would rather not have the jobs. I'm sorry, but like at some point you got to put your morals first. Um, as far as like Ukraine goes, in that argument for Ukraine, of course, that's an entirely separate debate. And at least in Ukraine, in defense of the same for Ukraine, Ukraine is a sovereign nation being invaded by Russia. Okay, like they are fighting a defensive war. Israel is not, no matter how much they try to claim and beat it in your head that this is for Israel's defense. This is a defensive war that Israel's fighting. No, it's not. This is an offensive war, and you can't even really consider a war. It's just a straight up slaughter. It is a literal fucking genocide. And here we are giving billions and billions of tax dollars towards that. Still, to this day, you know, over 2 years into a fucking clear as day genocide. Netanyahu has he has a warrant out for his fucking arrest from the ICC. Like, what are we talking about here? This is so frustrating, man. And this is going to pop into the news cycles for about not even a full day, and then it will be out. And then it'll go back to like, but what about Somalians? God, it's so annoying, man. Anyways, that's all I have for this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.